Hi, grade 11. In this lesson, we are going to revise some of your coordinate geometry. Of course, you recall that you've got the formulae y equals mx plus c, m equals tan theta, and m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Where m is the gradient, if you want to find it, you sometimes use m is tan theta, where theta is an angle in degrees. Or we say m is equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to find m. You may also recall that if you are given a line with an equation y is equals to 1 over 2x plus 5, if the gradient is positive, it means that the line will slant that way. With that, we will be able sometimes to work out the size of the angle which is above the x-axis, meaning we can try and work out that angle. So to find that angle, we can use this formula because it's got degrees there. So I will write this, but in this format, and say tan of theta is equal to m. It's the same thing. But we know that m is the gradient, so therefore tan of theta is equal to 1 over 2. Now if I solve for theta, so I say theta is equal to arctan of 1 over 2, and then I use a calculator. It says shift tan fraction 1 over 2, and it gives me an answer of 26.6 degrees, and the answer is 26.6 degrees. So that angle there is 26.6 degrees. Similarly, we can try and work out an angle here. So let's try if the equation was y equals minus 3 over 4x plus 1. So I'm trying to find some kind of an angle. So if I use the same formula where we said tan of theta is equal to m, so therefore we can say tan of theta is equals, now the gradient is minus 3 over 4, it's minus 3 over 4. So if I solve for theta, so theta will be equals to arctan of, if I put this minus 3 over 4, and then I use a calculator, so I say shift 10, then minus fraction of 3 over 4, the answer that I get is minus 36.9, so it's minus 36.9 degrees. So I get that answer. Now, there is a minus 36. What does this mean? The minus means that I'm below the x-axis. So this angle, size of an angle is 36 degrees, 36.9 degrees, but below because it's negative. So that was positive, meaning it was above the x-axis. Now let's see how they ask us in the exams. Now this paper is from DPE 20 November 2016. This was question 4. So this was a question and it had several questions. I've separated the questions so that we'll be able to see. So you've got a diagram here that is given and information about the diagram. They say R and A are x and y intercepts, so x and y intercepts respectively, so A and B, A and R there, and R there, and then we've got a line there. So the equation AR is y is equal to minus 1 over 2x plus 4. So this line AR is that line there. It's got an equation here. So you can write this equation y is equal to minus 1 over 2x plus 4. Remember that the 4 is the y-intercept. It's just the y-intercept there is 4. Now that's the gradient of this line. Then they've got another straight line, which is this one. Now they say here you've got m, which is k is to 0, n, which is 3 is to 4, and then you've got that angle is theta, and that one 0 is to 2, and then that angle over there, which is above, that's beta. But we know that if the gradient is negative over here, so on the line of x, the x-axis, we can only get that negative. If I put a negative half there, I'll get an angle over there. So this one here, I don't know the equation of it, but I can find the gradient and find things. Now let's see. What are the questions? So if I move this thing up a little bit, this is where I've written the equations and the questions. Now, given that MP and N are collinear points. Now, what are collinear points? Collinear points, you need to know that they have same gradients. So these will have the same gradients. Okay. So here in case we say lines have the same gradient. Okay. So what does that mean? MPN. So it means that the gradient of MP is the same as the gradient of PN. So let's write that. So we know that the gradient of MP is equal to the gradient of PN. Now, when we find the equation, the gradient, remember the formula, y2 minus 1 over x2 minus x1. So it means that the gradient of MP, subtract the y values. So it's 0 minus 2, so 0 minus 2 over subtract the x values. So k minus 0 is equals to the gradient of Pn. So k, let's subtract the y values is 2 minus 4 over subtract the x values is 0 minus 3. When I simplify this, I get minus 2 over k equals, and here when I just subtract this, I get minus 2 over minus 3. So therefore minus 2 over k is equal to 2 over 3. So if you look at this, I've got this thing here. I've got to find the value of k as can cross multiply. So if I cross multiply, I'll have 2k, which equals a cross multiply here. It's minus 6, which means that k value is equal to a minus 3. So the k value here is minus 3. So I've got a minus 3 here. Next question. The next question says, determine the size of theta. So you want to find the size of theta. Now this theta is not on the x-axis. So, but we can find that angle over here to be able to help us find that one. We can also find the angle over there. So if I were to redraw this line here and say I've got a line like this, so I can find that angle over there. So how do I find that angle? It means that I need the gradient of this. Of course, we found the gradient. Previously, we said the gradient of MP is same as gradient of PN. So that gradient is equals to minus 2 over minus 3, and then it was 2 over 3. So the gradient of Pn was 2 over 3. So if the gradient, so we can say there, if I want to find this angle here, so I'll say tan of alpha is equals to 2 over 3. So to find alpha, so I'll say alpha is equals to arctan of 2 over 3. And then what does my calculator say? Say shift 10 fraction of 2 over 3, and what am I getting here? I get 33,7. So the answer is 33,7 degrees. So this is 33,7 degrees. Note that I'm putting things in as I get them. Alright, now I want to find that angle there, which is beta. So same thing here. Let's check here. So also find beta, because we said we needed to find that. So how am I going to find it? If I push it a little bit, so I would say the gradient of this line here is equal to minus half. So I can say the tan of an angle now. So I don't know the angle that I will get here. So if I say beta, but I'll get that angle over there. Let's label this angle as a T or something. So let's not choose T, let's choose P. So tan of the small p is equal to the gradient of this, which is minus a half, which means that now p is equal to arctan of minus a half, which is equal to, what do we get here? So arctan of a minus a half, 1 over 2, we get an answer minus 26,6. So the minus 26 means that the angle is below. So this is 26,6 degrees. So what is the size of beta then? So this is a straight line, so it means that beta will be 180 minus this angle over here. So therefore we can say 180 minus 26.6. What do we get? We get 153.4 is 153.4 degrees, and therefore now we can see that we've got a triangle over here. So if this is a triangle here, so which means that this angle here is an exterior angle of a triangle. So therefore we can say that this plus this, so 33.7 degrees plus theta is equals exterior angle of a triangle, degrees, which means that theta is equals to that angle minus 33.7. So if I subtract 33.7, I get an answer of 119.7 degrees. Okay, now let's look at another question. Another question says, calculate the length of MR. So MR is this length here. So we know that this is 3. So from there to there is 3 units. So I need to work out that. How do I find the coordinates of R? R is the y-intercept of this. So I can try and find the y-intercept. I'll find the y-intercept. We make x 0 on the equation. So x is 0 here. So the equation of this line was y is equal to minus 1 over 2x plus a 4, which means that now, so if we make x, y is 0, so y would be 0 is equal to minus 1 over 2x plus a 4. So I'm solving for x, so take a 4 across, or minus half across. So I've got a positive half x is equal to 4. So cross multiply, so 2 will multiply, they're giving me x is equal to 8. So meaning that the x value there is 8. Right? So therefore, if from there to there is 3 units, from there to there is 8 units, it means that the whole of this length here is 11. So we can say therefore the length of MR is equal to 11 units. Okay, let's look at the next question. The next question says, calculate the area of triangle MNR. MNR. So this is a new triangle. So if I were to do this so that you can see the triangle that we're talking about, that triangle there, the triangle there. So we know that to work out the area of a triangle, area, that's right here, is equal to half times base times height. So therefore it's a half times, our base is this length here, which we said was 11. So times 11, so multiplied by the height. The height is the distance from here to the top. So I can see that going up to the top, how many units up? That's 4 from there. So multiplied by 4, and the answer is a half of 11 times 4. That is 22 unit squares. Okay, so that was it. So you can see that it's easy to do these problems. So therefore, on your own, can you try the work from brighterfuture.co.za, the grade 8 to grade 11 papers, the DPE of 2015, question 3 and 4, and so DPE for paper 2 of 2013, question 3 and 4 as well, and the Eastern Cape paper 2 of 2015, the questions 3 and 4. As simple as that. Of course, there will be extra things that they may ask, but it is very easy.